balance change review. That was stupid. What's going on, everybody? Psyche here, and today I wanted to review a couple balance changes that came out pretty recently, actually. Yesterday, I believe. That's the earliest I found out. And this is a pretty long set of changes. You'll see in the corner. We get these changes like maybe once a year or once every half of a year. So I guess twice a year. So sit back, get some popcorn, and yeah, you better listen up because I'm about to analyze the freak out of these buffs and nerfs. Whether they're good or not, do I think anything needs changes? Now I have myself 2 copies here of their translations. One of them is and don't get your sources. Don't get your info from sources like these. Is a horribly translated one. This is the original one I found. I originally found it on a Discord server, but it's horribly translated. Let me just read it. Hunter's side. Dreamwitch adjusts extreme play that kills the survivor instantly by rolling the patroller multiple times in the first move and reduces the effect of the patrolman, what's that? Being rolled in succession. So, I don't know what's with these translators. Are there not enough people who can't speak Chinese and English well enough to translate correctly? What is a patrolman? I'm guessing they meant patroller, but it hurts my brain reading these. Here's another one. Also, when there are too many believers in a match without calling, players often don't know who has the mark due to a lack of information sharing, and the scene often collapses. That's one way to put it, a scene often collapses. That's exactly the way I think of it. These types of things, it hurts my brain when I read these types of things. As someone who's big on grammar, this hurts my brain really badly. So, the last time I read one of these was like in July, so I'm not even gonna... I read 2 bullet points of these, and I moved away. I'm not hurting my brain with this. My friend actually managed to give me a much better translated version, so we're gonna review this one. Yeah, let's just start from the top one. Guard 26. Window vaulting speed and pallet breaking speed will be slightly faster. Survivors will be able to rescue immediately after getting hit by a bomb. Okay, so this is like a nerf and a buff at the same time. So, we all know that Guard 26 is ridiculous with his camping. It's a little too ridiculous. The fact that you can't even save sometimes. You really need a big brain to counter him. So, I'm not sure what it means survivors will be able to rescue immediately. I don't know if that means they won't get knocked off the chair when they get hit, or if it'll be like Feaster's Tentacle where you can rescue immediately without the animation coming into effect. Real quick, editing Psyche right here. I did find gameplay of the new Guard 26. It turns out the bomb doesn't knock you off the chair anymore. Here's gameplay of that. I'll leave my source in the description. It was Identity 5 community. But either way, we'll have to see what comes up with that. It's good that they're nerfing his chair power, but I see that they're also buffing window vault speed and pallet breaking slightly. It's fair, because I mean, they don't want to completely ruin the character, so I agree with it. The biggest thing was chair. They can buff window and pallet speed slightly. I don't think anyone will notice. Overall, it's a good change, definitely needed a nerf. Alright, next up, Gardener. Any survivor put on a chair that was previously broken by the Gardener will last 10% longer on a chair. This is supposed to be a buff, but this is so out of nowhere. Who uses Gardener? I mean, you got John out there using Gardener. Gardener isn't a serious character. I guess it's good against Dreamwitch, and I guess Blood Queen early game, but that's only if you get found early game. She has nothing after that. And so the fact that they made her toolbox able to, well, I don't know, chair teammates last longer on it. So you're trading a time destroying chair for the person lasting longer on the chair. You're really not gaining anything because you have to waste time breaking the chair anyway. All it does is negate it. And 10% really isn't that long at the end of the day. Like, compare Coordinator dying on a chair versus Perfumer. There's very little difference. Overall, it's a good buff. It's just like, it's not going to make the character viable in top tier rank. Doctor, here's a good one. Weak trait was changed from 15 to 10%. Yeah, I was joking about that good one. Another random buff that doesn't change the meta at all. All it does is make Doctor better. But it doesn't replace any characters we actually know right now. Sure, you got sometimes you got doctors being played against Mad Eyes, against Photographer. She is a hard counter to them. It's just like, it just makes her slightly better, but her item is really what matters a lot, because her item really isn't that helpful. So it's nice that they did this change. Again, a lot like Gardeners. Won't make her, in the grand scheme of things, that much better. Alright, here's the one y'all been waiting for. Lawyer. Lawyer got a huge rework. Now let's go over all of it. Lawyer no longer has the charm trait. I have no idea what the charm trait is. I'll show on the screen what the charm trait is. Basically, they removed it, and now Lawyer can't get Terror Shock. I think it's being replaced with an ability called Steel Heart. That's what I saw on Discord anyway. Lawyer's map is no longer displays interface, but instead will show the following. The Hunter at all times, the closest 3 ciphers, open exit gates, some more changes that will make his map look prettier. That's pretty vague. And his map will lose durability when Lawyer uses it. Okay. Starting off with the Terror Shock thing. It's cool. It's great. I mean, I don't know what to say with this about this. Like, it's cool. It's sort of like the Gardener and Doctor thing. It's a small bonus. It doesn't change that much. How often are you about to get Terror Shock anyway? Never. The only time is Blink Terror Shock. That's the biggest thing. So the fact that Lawyer is now protects against that, that's a big deal. So now that means he also doesn't have to waste time waiting for the Hunter to hit them and then vaulting over. He can just do it straight away. So I guess it's a big time saver in that regard. Alright, and then moving on to his map itself. Shows the Hunter at all times. Now this is funny to me, because on my stream, I actually mentioned one thing that would make Lawyer good, and I question all the time, why doesn't the map show where the Hunter is at all times? So it will make him amazing in tournament gameplay, where all 4 people in a team of survivors can track the Hunter. That's amazing. That's even better than like voice chat. Well, actually, you need voice chat to don't worry about that. It's really good. It's not gonna work as great in legendary mode because you can only play with one other person, but it's still good overall in tournament gameplay. He sees the closest 3 ciphers. Doesn't matter that much. You should have the ciphers memorized at this point in the game. If we're talking legendary rank, high tier, these players already can memorize the ciphers. So that's not a big deal. Open exit gates. So it shows which exit gates are open. That's a big deal. Although, that's only a big deal if you don't have teammates that communicate with you. So this way, if you don't have teammates that communicate with you, they can tell you, you can tell on your own which gate is open. That happens very rarely though, so it's also not that big of a change. Some map changes that make it look prettier, and the map will lose durability. Fair, since you shouldn't be staring at the Hunter the whole time, the whole game. It has to make a little bit of punch, you know. There's also one thing that isn't mentioned here, and it's that 2 things actually. The map will show which ciphers are at least 50% done. So that's, I guess, a decent change. At least you know which ciphers have been worked on mostly. And then another change, which was that. Guys, I forgot to change. I forgot. Oh yeah, vaulting speed. His vaulting speed was buffed from 15 to 10%. Sort of like Doctors. Overall, they're making the character better at the end of the day. So overall, it's all about the map that was changed. Do I think he's gonna be used in high tier gameplay? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think so, because I think there are a bunch better characters. The problem with him is if you get found, you have no good item to use after that. It's really, what are you gonna do if you get found? The map's gonna tell you where the Hunter is? It doesn't matter that much at that point anymore. I think it's gonna be really big in tournament gameplay though, where all 4 survivors have communication and they can tell each other where the Hunter is going and where to look out for. It's like Seer in that regard, except infinite visibility on Hunter. Overall, I approve. This is a very good buff. It's definitely gonna change him a lot. We might see Lawyer in rank match now. Alright, here's one. Nerf for Prospector. He now starts the game with 2 magnets, so I guess it's sort of like a buff and a nerf. But they reduced the radius of the magnet from 9 meters to 7.5 meters. Again, I guess I can't tell too much from this because A, I don't play Prospector, and B, we really don't know how much 9 meters is in this game. Like Tinnitus says, every 36 meters you can tell survivors nearby. You have a rough estimation of 36 meters, but you don't really know, really. And then it changes from 9 meters to 7.5 meters. Again, we can see when it comes out, but for now I don't have any gameplay for you. Oh, Prospector, I forgot to mention. Prospector, I heard this from Discord as well. He can't pull hunters from as far away as he can right now, so if I find Duty's gameplay of it, Duty's insane with Prospector. At the distances you can go with it is insane. Again, I don't use Prospector, and that kind of gameplay really makes me want to use Prospector, realize, whoa, he's really good. And I should really learn how to use him because he's better than I ever imagined. It's just I never used him, so it's a little bit annoying because I was thinking about using him. I think that's his second nerf at this point. Well, he does start with 2 magnets, just like with the Priestess thing, how she starts with 2 portals, or was it 1? I don't remember, I think she starts with 2 portals. This is a huge one. Mechanic. If the doll is decoding when not being operated, it'll still use durability. So apparently, based off of Discord, it's only gonna last for 1 cipher, if you leave it on for 1 cipher. And then after that, it won't do much. Maybe we'll get to another nearby cipher, or it could stay at an exit door. It's not much it could do after that. So this is a big change, because what made Mechanic good is her doll, nothing else. They could make as many debuffs to her decoding as they want. It's the doll that really matters. So this is huge for Mechanic. I'm not even sure, I mean, it is still 1 cipher being done. So that, I mean, how many ciphers does a doll get done, actually? Oh, actually, never mind, a lot, maybe like 2 some matches, because of how much multitasking that goes around with Mechanic. What I'm a little bit upset about, though, is that they didn't give a Mind's Eye buff. They're nerfing 1 decoder, but not giving the other decoder light. So now, it makes all the decoders worse. Instead of trying to change the meta here, the devs trying to go for, devs of Identify, of course, trying to switch the meta up. All they're doing is nerfing it, making the survivors a lot less weaker, and we don't get to see any other changes. Just maybe like the only change we'll see is overall worse characters being played as a replacement for Mechanic. Possibly. Mechanic will still be decent, of course. The fact that she can be at 2 places at once, not as good as it used to be, because her durability, let's be honest, her durability was way too long in the first place. It was a well-deserved nerf. It took over a year to arrive. Which brings up the question of when is Blood Queen gonna get nerfed? Is it also gonna be a year? Who knows? Because, I mean, if Mechanic keeps getting banned from Hunters, then why don't the devs do the same to the Hunters being banned? It's always Blood Queen being banned, so I don't know what's going on there. Mercenary. 4 elbow pads instead of 5. I approve. Mercenary, let's be honest, has way too many elbow pads. I always end up having extras in-game, or just sometimes I just straight up waste them as a security measure just because, oh, let's just be extra sure, because let's be honest, he kites for way too long if you ever try to chase him. So it's a well-deserved nerf. Took, once again, a year. Here's a big one for Priestess. This is probably like the 5th ever nerf to Priestess received, because people just keep finding a way to make her good. Priestess. If the hunter hits the image of the survivor that passed through a long portal, the survivor will be displayed to the hunter for 10 seconds. So this is trying to nerf the world portal. I don't have that much experience playing with Priestess because I don't ever have rank matches often where people get through the world portal, and then the hunter has trouble finding them after that usually. Usually the Priestess heals them up before the hunter even reaches them. Even as, like, I don't know, let's say a hunter would teleport, unless Cypher isn't if the Cypher isn't nearby, they're usually gonna get up healed before you even get a chance to pick them up. The vision will be useful if the portal is relatively close. Sometimes I have moments where, let's say I hit someone through the world portal and I have no idea where they are. It happens. It does happen. So this is huge because not only will you find the person that was knocked out, you'll probably find the Priestess with it, and you'll probably get a hit on or 2 on her. Well, 2 if she's not careful, but you might get a hit on her if she's not careful in the first place. So it's another huge nerf to survivors. Where's the nerf for hunters? Well, we're getting to that. Explorer. Buffing Explorer. New trait. Fantasy. When the explorer is small and the hunter is a certain distance away from him, the explorer will be notified. Additionally, the pointer of the treasure has been modified, so that's like a small thing. I don't know if that's a buff or just like a visual thing changed. Explorer, once again, one of those characters that don't see any use at all because of it's too gimmicky. Its abilities really aren't that useful. His new trait Fantasy, when the explorer is small and the hunter is a certain distance away, that's vague. I don't understand what it's saying. Is it trying to say that it'll tell you where the hunter is? Maybe? In case you're, I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. It's a little vague. So yes, not all translations are perfect, but I bet you this person translating this were confused themselves. So, moving on to the next one. This is a big change. They buffed Magician severely. Trait, real or fake change. In addition to the previous features of the trait, which would be, you get to rescue what I believe 60% slower. In addition to that, Magician will now be invisible for 2 seconds after being saved. Additionally, his speed boost when using the wand was changed from 30 to 40. So first off, let's go over being rescued. So when a hunter hits the mercenary and the magician gets rescued, it's overall the hunter's trying to keep their eyes on the survivor, and so when the magician turns invisible, there is no way a hunter can tell where he is. Okay, that was really obvious, but what I'm trying to say here is I think it's gonna be mostly good, because obviously if the hunter can't see them, they have no idea where they are because the footprints are blending in with the mercenary's footprints. So 2 seconds doesn't seem that long. That can be a game changer. That's like a time to get to a pouch. If there's multiple pouches nearby, the hunter doesn't know which direction the magician could have possibly went in. They can just swing air and hope they hit the magician at that point. So it's hard to say for now because I haven't seen gameplay of it how it can be used. But I think it's overall gonna be a good change. I think even Cats, if you guys know Cats 007, he has these series where he makes underrated characters good, like Lizard, Cowboy, Thief now, and I bet Magician is next on his list. So yeah. Additionally, his speed boost when using the wand was changed from 30 to 40. That's a big change. It doesn't seem, 10% doesn't seem that much, but that's close to window speed at that point. Window vault speed, when you vault the window, get 50% bonus. If you vault the pallet, you get 50% bonus. It's these little things that really change the character up, really. And then finally, the last one, Dream Witch. Survivors holding the curse mark will have an icon appear next to their health status icon. So when a survivor picks up a curse mark, the whole team will know who has the curse mark, so they can go towards that person and get their curse removed. Now, for me, this wasn't a big problem because all you had to do is say follow me or help me and ping the other person where you are with the curse mark so they can remove it, essentially. But some people didn't realize that. Like, even now, some people don't know that. They don't come to you, they don't come for help. Instead, they just let those leeches flow. And that's the biggest thing with Dream Witch. You can't let those leeches overflow. But that's besides the point. Now I'm getting into how to counter Dream Witch early game and mid game. It's just helpful in general, especially in those lower tiers where people don't know who has what because no one's communicating anything. This is a big change, really. Assuming they know they should get rid of the curse mark. And then finally, the last change for Dream Witch as well. Trait changes Patroller. Continual use of the Patroller will cause it to stun to slow by 5 seconds with a minimum of 10 seconds. So a little bit weird translation there, but essentially what it's saying right there is the first Patroller will be like a regular Patroller. So let's say Dream Witch is using the trait Patrol, right, the dog, and they try to bite a person, and it's gonna bite for those regular 3 times. We say 3 times and not 4 times because the first bite doesn't matter. The hunter is also stopped in place. So that one doesn't matter. It's really 3 bites, that first dog. And then if she uses on the same survivor again, it's going to be reduced to only 2 bites, so 15 seconds. And then if she uses a third Patroller, it's only 1 bite, so it's close to useless, making it really easy for the survivor to drop a pallet, vault a window, so it can dodge the dog bite and not get bit at all, making it close to useless, essentially. Not close to useless, but it's only 1 bite. And that can be really easily dodged by dropping a pallet, and you avoid the dog bite. You completely skip over the animation if you didn't know it. Dream Witch, overall, it's good that she got nerfed. With the Patroller spam was ridiculous. I guess it's good now, but there's still blink spam. Dream Witches can still use blink, so it's good, I guess, but she still has other options, so it's not like this is a complete game changer. In fact, we don't even see that much Dream Witch right now in the moment of the meta, or at least I haven't. And then the curse mark, good for the team, just in general, in case survivors can't communicate for some reason in top tier. I don't know why, they should. But yeah, overall these adjustments were good. There were a couple wild cards thrown in there like Doctor, Gardener. They're just kind of random. They don't really have a place in there. And they're not going to have a place in the meta. But things like Guard 26, Dream Witch, Mechanic especially, Lawyer, sort of, and Magician. I think we'll start seeing a lot of Magician now because of this. These are really big changes. I wish Blood Queen got nerfed, because if Mechanic gets nerfed because she's such a popular character to ban, then why not Blood Queen? Why not do something to Blood Queen? This is a really smart nerf to Mechanic. A lot of hunters are I'm sure happy. Even I have to admit, it was a little bit OP how you can just leave the doll and it keeps decoding with a 25% bonus, even though it's meant to have energy. There are a couple other random nerfs in there, but overall, I approve most of these changes. They're, like I said, random ones, but they're overall really good. And once again, Blood Queen, I believe, should have been nerfed. I don't know why they didn't nerf her. And I wish this is a random thing, but I wish devs would go a little bit further with these changes. They wouldn't just like, oh, let's just nerf a couple of these characters and a couple of that characters, and they don't change the meta. They don't make Prospector really bad and Doctor really good. They don't do that. So we don't see any shifts in the meta. They don't make Mercenary really, really bad and Coordinator really, really good. The same way Mercenary is really, really good right now. And Coordinator's like, eh. The meta has been the same for like a year and a half, and I wish they take a step further with this. I don't know, give Hell Emperor a buff, I don't care, like, something to make him stronger. Maybe buff the AI of those Hell Emperor puppets, and nerf the really strong hunters right now, and buff the really buff the weak hunters, so we can actually see a change in the meta. And the same with survivors, so we don't have to see the same old Mercenary, Seer, Perfumer gameplay. If they did something to Perfumer and made Gardener really, really way up there, that would be like the game changer. Of course, people wouldn't like the change, but that's what keeps the game. That's what keeps games fresh, new content, not just new content, but just balance changes. Overall, those are all the balance changes. So yeah, we're probably not gonna get one until let's say November of this year. So these happened really, really. I hope you learned something from these changes. Again, it kind of came out of nowhere. I just found out about this yesterday, and I wanted to let you guys know, what do I think of them? Do I think they're game changers? Again, Guard 26, game changer because now it's going to be easier to save. Dream Witch with Patroller, game changer if they're using Patroller only. Those kinds of things. Mechanic, game changer. I don't know how that's going to affect the meta. I don't think we're going to see Mind's Eye because Mind's Eye is not that good. Once again, going back to that idea of buffing the really weak characters, Mind's Eye, and really, really nerfing the Mechanic, which is what they did, except they didn't do that second part. So now we're just left with, okay, we have nerf survivors against still really strong hunters. So I hope they can fix that. I hope these balance changes come in more often. I almost want to see a shift in Persona, so that's a really far off thing. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy just learning about these changes in case you didn't know about them. I'll leave a link in the description below of the image that I was using through this whole time. You'll see it in the corner of the video as well, I'm sure, but for now that's it. Hope you guys enjoy, and thanks. This is Psyche.